Okay, we're in for a hot weekend.
Ooh.
4th of July, it should be, right? Many people are going to be getting outside for the long weekend. And every year we send out a good reminder about safety, not only in the water, but with fireworks, bugs, and the sun. There is a whole lot of things you need to think about to keep your family safe. Make it a memorable, happy weekend. You do not want to go to the ER.
No.
On a holiday weekend. Dr. Payal Kohli will tell you that.
Especially the new interns are starting on July 1st.
Oh.
So it's a brand new set of doctors fresh out of medical school.
Ooh, okay, that's some incentive.
That's all you had to say with
right.
a smile. She said it with a smile. Fresh out of medical school. Okay.
Twinkle in her eye. So let's start with sun safety. What do you recommend for sunscreen usage, especially coming up? I think this Friday we're looking at like high 80s, 90 degrees.
So I would say a couple things. One, of course, when we're outside, we think about sunscreen, but you want to make sure you're using a broad spectrum sunscreen, at least SPF 30, and applying it every 2 hours. And if you're up in the mountains spending the weekend up there, you want to make sure that you potentially are even using a higher SPF, because the more altitude, for every 1,000 feet of elevation, you actually get more penetration of the UV rays. And so spending time outdoors is fun. It doesn't feel as hot in the mountains, but you're actually getting more UV exposure. So and really try to use the mineral sunscreens, because I'm not a huge fan of the ones containing oxybenzone and some of those other chemicals that can actually get into your system. But when you're inside, you also want to think about sun exposure. And this is something as Coloradans we don't often think about, but UVA can actually come through the glass. So if you think you're sitting inside and you have absolutely no UV exposure, that's not true. In your house, when that afternoon sun is pouring in or that morning sun is pouring in, if you're sitting in that sunlight, you're actually getting exposure.
What about driving?
Same thing.
Always. That's why this side of my face has the sunspots.
Well, it's funny because
she has no sunspots, by the way. She's flawless. But
she is
flawless. What about my hands? Because on the steering wheel, sunscreen on the hands?
The New England Journal of Medicine actually did a case report of a truck driver whose left side of his face aged a lot faster than the right side of his face, because for windshields, it's actually law for them to put in a protectant in there so you don't get it through the windshield. But from those side windows, if you don't have tinting, you are getting that sun exposure, especially if you're sitting in the car for long periods of time.
Good to know.
So make sure you cover up your eyes, make sure you put sunscreen on your hands, especially on the left side of your face as well.
Okay. It's a little late in some cases. Fireworks. They make me really nervous, period. But I do know a lot of people, it's a family tradition, and they're always like, oh, I'm really safe. I know what I'm doing. But they really are risky, and a lot of injuries happen.
A lot of injuries, especially for kids, and especially because kids don't necessarily know the risk. So just sit down. If you do it as part of your family tradition, review everything with your kids. You want to keep your pets away from it. You want to wear tight-fitting clothing when you're doing fireworks, because you don't want anything to accidentally
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that.
Scary.
Yes, and you only want to light one firework at a time. And if something is a dud, you never want to relight it. And the other thing I've seen people do sometimes is, you know, as it burns out, they actually pick it up and put it in a trash bag right away. And now you've got something hot that's potentially, you know, able to light on fire, putting next to plastic, and that's how you get trash can fire. So what you want to do after the firework burns out is actually have a bucket of cold water, throw it in there for 20 minutes before you dispose of it, put it in any kind of garbage bag.
Such great advice. What about barbecues? I feel like everybody has a barbecue to attend. They're super fun. Do you see any more increased injuries having to do with barbecues?
Not as many injuries, Sam, unless you're actually on the grill. So certainly don't let kids do anything with the barbecue or the grill, because I've seen sometimes they're flipping things over, they're turning it. But more you want to worry about food safety, because it's going to be so hot. And you think about the types of foods that we do at picnics and at barbecues. You're talking about cheeses, you're talking about eggs, you're talking about meats, you're talking about things that can spoil easily. So you want to make sure that number one, you're sanitizing your hands. Number two, you're putting a little timer on how far or how long your food has been sitting out. Because if you've got cheese or anything like that sitting out more than an hour, it's probably a good idea to be safe rather than sorry. If it's not on ice, and maybe just throw it out, because you don't want people getting sick at your barbecue.
Oh, no. They'll never forget it. Happened to me once. Never forgot it. I was a teenager. Never forgot it. Ever.
What was
miserable. It was like, I think, a cream cheese dip.
Yep. It's exactly those types of things. Those, you know, cheese boards or the charcuterie.
Exactly who made it.
No. And cream cheese is a big one, because you think it's processed, so you feel like it's going to be more stable. But people make dips out of those all the time, or those queso dips that have a lot of cheese in them too. You think you've got salsa in it. They are good.
They are really good.
This is such great advice,
Kohli,
Dr.
thank
Kohli.
you.
I know, we appreciate you. And you can find more of Dr. Kohli at 9news.com/Dr. Kohli.